There's a word you probably hear in CrossFit class, if not daily. Probably even more than once daily. Most likely every class at the whiteboard, maybe even some during the workout. That word is stimulus. Scale to hit the stimulus, you might hear. Today's intended stimulus. You nod, yeah, coach, I got you, don't worry. I'm not time capping today like yesterday. When you hear it, maybe you know what it means, maybe you think you know what it means. Here's what I've found most people actually think stimulus means. Finish before the time cap. Don't worry, coach, gonna finish before the time cap, gonna get it all in. And I get that. Trust me, I do. For a while, I even thought that. The clock is the part you can see. It's up there on the wall like a beacon saying, pick the bar up or do another rep. And then you get to put that score in sugar wad with a nice RX next to your name, and you finally made it. I'm an RX athlete. But if stimulus was just about the clock, we wouldn't need coaches at all. We would just need timers. Stimulus is the complete training equation the workout is designed to deliver. And today, I'm going to go all the way in and dive into what that equation actually says. For athletes who want to understand why the coach makes the modifications they make, and for the coaches who want to get better at protecting that thing that makes CrossFit work better than any other methodology out there. And it's not even close. CrossFit's the best when the stimulus is preserved. So let's dive right in. Greg Glassman said something I want us all to sit with for just a second and really take in. The breadth and depth of the program stimulus will determine the breadth and depth of the adaptation it elicits. So read that again. The breadth of the adaptation matches the breadth of the stimulus. What that means is this: the workout is not random, it is designed exposure. The time domain, the load, the movement pattern, the rep scheme, the range of motion, the pace, the feeling, all of it is very deliberate when a CrossFit workout is written. And if you change any of it without understanding why it is there, you are not making the workout harder or even easier. You are delivering a different training signal altogether. And a different training signal produces a different adaptation than intended, and that might mess up your whole entire programming for the week, the month, the year, especially if done over and over. Here is the reframe I want you to carry throughout this whole episode. The workout on the board is not the prescription, even though it says RX. The intended stimulus is the prescription, and it is worth preserving. The workout, the RX on the whiteboard, is simply one version of that dose. Say that to yourself as a coach and athlete. The workout is only one version of the dose. That alone should change everything about how you read the whiteboard and how you scale to maximize your gains. Let's use Fran, the benchmark workout we as CrossFitters use as like a bodybuilder or in a commercial gym, like what's your bench? Fran is a workout that gets oversimplified more than any other benchmark in CrossFit, if you ask me. And because it is simple. It's a couplet with a rep scheme of 21, 15, 9, thrusters, and pull-ups for time. The most common answer I get whenever we talk stimulus of Fran is finish under 5 minutes. I agree. Friends should be quick, fast, and in a hurry. The time window is real, but let me push you on this a little bit. If you finish Fran in 4.5 minutes with a bar that's too heavy, that you probably spent more time looking at than moving, and going to singles and pull-ups in the first round, did you hit the intended stimulus? I'm gonna say no. But also, what if your bar was super light, say 15 pounds, you were able to sprint through the thrusters and go unbroken, and then you had ring rows where you moved your feet back a little bit and you were able to keep them unbroken, and you never really struggled through it and you got done in 90 seconds. Again, the stimulus was missed. You were both under 5 minutes, but yet neither one got the stimulus needed to cause the adaptation that Fran is looking for. Fran is not a 5-minute event. Fran is a push-pull sprint with a descending rep scheme designed so you can keep moving as fatigue builds. The light to moderate thrusters, squat into press, loads the legs and core and shoulders. The pull-ups bring the lats and back. That pairing is intentional. Opposite patterns, different primary muscles, which means you can transition quickly between them. The reps drop from 21 to 15 to 9, so intensity can stay high and you can keep going all the way through. Fran is supposed to feel like you got hit by a Mack truck. Your lungs are loud, your legs are heavy, your grip is fading, core working, and somewhere in that round of 15, every single time, no matter how many times you've done Fran, you start having a conversation in your head. Can I hold this? Do I need to break? The plan was to go unbroken. Can I keep moving even though this is one of the most uncomfortable things I've been through? I know about me, I started, this is bullshit. Why am I doing this workout again? That conversation is part of the stimulus. That moment of decision under real pressure. That part is Fran. Glassman said this, and it's my favorite quote. He said, "The greatest adaptation in CrossFit takes place between your ears." CrossFit has a wonderful way of humbling you and making you question why you even do it. So let's count the ways we have so far to determine the stimulus. We have the time domain, the movement pattern, the rep scheme, the load, the range of motion, the physical feeling, and the mental demand. That's a heck of a lot more than just a clock saying pick the bar up. 7 different things. Finish under 5 minutes is one. Let's dive into why load matters. Not as a number, but more as a signal. CrossFit's official coaching materials name load as one of the core variables coaches must preserve or modulate when they scale. Not preserve as in never change the number, preserve as in understand what that load means to each athlete. What's it going to produce for this athlete? And then find the version that best fits each person. Too heavy turns a sprint into a strength test. You still train something, yes, probably something really hard, but you trained a different equation than the one that was written for the workout. Too light removes the heavy part of intensity. You moved, you finished, but your body did not get the signal the workout was designed for. And here's the one that does not get said enough. Movement pattern. When we go too heavy, maybe we cut the range of motion short. This is even more important than the load. The thruster is a squat into a press. If the squat is cut short under fatigue or the bar is just too heavy, the movement has now changed. The standard has not been met. A pull-up that ends with the chin below the bar is the same, no longer the standard. CrossFit's own scaling articles warn about this directly. If coaches immediately eliminate or heavily modify a movement, they may have limited exposure to important ranges of motion that will slow an athlete's long-term development. That means the first thing you should protect in a scale is not the weight, it's the movement and the range of motion. Standards are there for a reason, and the standard is the standard. Change the standard last. Change the load and reps before that. Here's the line I want all you coaches to write in your lesson plan before your next class. For most workouts, the best version of it lives at the edge, fast enough to create intensity, controlled enough to keep movement honest. That, my friend, is threshold training and finding that edge for every athlete on every day. This is the coach's job. You're not there to simply start the clock and cheer them on. Good job, way to go. You're there to get the most out of them every day to drive them towards their goals. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all about this. For a few years when I first started, I coached stimulus mostly through the clock. This is the time cap, we need to hit it. Then at the end, when I was taking my notes, it was simple. Did they finish? Did everybody in the class beat the time cap? Were they close to the time cap? Did the whiteboard brief tell them when they were supposed to be done? If they did, check, done, successful day, we're on to the next. Athletes were always asking me, what's the time cap? Not, when should I finish? So, I am lucky enough to be here as coach and owner, so I start watching athletes. The one finishing in the right window, going RX, logging scores, and they still seem to not be getting better anymore. They're staying flat, coming back week after week to do the same modifications at the same relative intensity and wondering why they've hit this plateau. And I'm wondering too. Then I started watching all the athletes, and I'm seeing the ones who are scaling consistently, scaling correctly. Not always the highest names on the board, maybe some lighter bars, maybe modifying movements, sometimes finishing in the middle of the pack. Those athletes were improving super fast and recovering even better. Month over month, their movement was cleaner, their capacity was growing, their confidence was skyrocketing. They're showing up, walking into class just super confident, like people expect to do well, not people hoping to just survive. The difference wasn't talent. It was the dose of the stimulus. The athletes who scaling thoughtfully were getting the right training stimulus every single day. The athletes chasing RX before they were ready were getting a different dose every day, and that dose was survival. Here's the thing about survival. You don't really adapt from it. You toughen up, yes. You white knuckle your way through every workout. But specific fitness the workout was designed to build, that sometimes goes untrained for months. What if you barely survive a skill day? I bet you didn't develop much of that skill. I stopped asking, can they do RX first? I started asking, what does the athlete need today so that 6 months from now, RX isn't even a question. It's just the workout that they're doing on Tuesday. That question alone changed so much of how I coach. There is one more big layer of stimulus I want to talk about, and it is the one that takes the longest to understand, but I feel like it matters most in this long run of fitness. CrossFit distinguishes between training and practice. Training produces organic change like muscle growth. We can see that. Your work capacity, that can be measured. Metabolic efficiency and mobility. That is training. We can see it, it's in the tissue. Practice produces neurological change, more coordination, better skills, movement patterns, accuracy, agility, the ability to move. And this is the ability to express strength you already have or are gaining. The ability to make it look cool, I would say. And don't get it twisted. We do CrossFit to look cool. Both training and practice happen well in a well-run CrossFit class. Both are part of the stimulus. And then there is a third thing, the biggest thing in there, the mental layer. Glassman connected this to. Intensity is the independent variable most commonly associated with maximizing favorable adaptation. Not volume, not duration, intensity, which means the psychological demand of doing something hard, staying in discomfort, making decisions under pressure, choosing to hold a plan when the plan gets hard. It's not separate from physical adaptation, it's part of what drives it. The biggest change is between the ears, he said. CrossFit's scaling guidance even uses the phrases psychological tolerance as an official scaling variable. Your mental readiness is part of the prescription. A coach who ignores that is only doing half their job, if even half. Here's what that means in practice. When you are in the round of 15 a friend and your brain starts negotiating with you, that's part of the stimulus. That's part of the workout. It's on purpose. It's not a side effect. It's the training signal we're looking for. And every time you stay in it, every time you make the right decision under pressure, you are building something that the leaderboard does not measure. Every time you show up and push, this happens. You're building proof that you can handle hard things, proof that the feeling of death is going to pass, proof that you can make good decisions even in complete chaos. And trust me, you already know this, life is chaos. So this mental adaptation is what separates CrossFit from other training. That is where confidence comes from here at CrossFit Fiend in our athletes. Not from the score, not from putting RX next to your name on Sugar Wad. Confidence in results. That is not just our tagline. It is the actual mechanism. It's what we hope to cultivate in each person that walks in our doors. If you're lucky enough to coach CrossFit, I want you to leave with this, with something practical. Before you brief any workout, be able to answer these questions. What should this workout feel like? Is it a sprint? Is it a long grind? Is it a long, steady burn? Maybe zone 2. Is it a heavy, focused effort? What is the one standard that cannot change? That thing that if you cut it, you've changed the workout entirely. What is the right load for this athlete? Not what they can lift, but what they need to lift so the workout creates the intended response. What is the mental demand here? Where is this workout? Where in this workout is it going to get loud in their head? What decisions are they going to face and when? If you can answer these questions, you can brief the workout in 90 seconds at the whiteboard, and every single athlete will understand what they are chasing for today. And that's not the clock, it's the dose. And here's the one coaching line I want you to carry out of this episode. A good coach does not scale athletes away from the workout. A good coach scales them into the best workout for them. There is a difference. And as a coach, you should know it. It's not a guess. Look at the workouts. If you don't know, ask another coach. Figure it out. As we wrap this up, I want you to know stimulus is not a buzzword. It's not just a time domain. And it never was. It's the full reason the workouts exist. The time, the load, the movement pattern, the range of motion, the feeling, the decisions under pressure. These are all stimulus. When you understand that, when you stop chasing the RX label and start chasing the dose, everything changes. Scaling stops feeling like a step down and starts feeling like just a better decision to grow. And that's what it is. For athletes, your coach is not managing your ego when they suggest that you scale or modify. They're protecting your progress. That's all they care about. You should trust that. For you coaches, the clock tells you what happened. Stimulus tells you what was supposed to happen. Coach for that second one. And if you are someone who has been watching CrossFit from the outside, wondering if it's for you, wondering if you need to already be in shape, already be strong, already know the movements, that answer is simply no. That is exactly why we built our free no sweat intro. So, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe below so you can see more each week. It really helps us to be able to put out more content like this. And if you want to get started with us, visit CrossFitFiend.com, give us your email and phone number, and we'll reach out. I love you guys. Stay rad. Coach Richard.